Hey, Lisa Warden here with Sacred Living. I'm here with your reading for the week, Sunday, December 4th through the 10th. Whew, can you believe it? So, this week I have your reading and I have also the archangels. You can be thinking which one you resonate with the most to help you on your journey this week. Archangel number 1, Archangel number 2, or Archangel number 3. And I'll have that for you at the end. So this week I was listening to an audiobook that I just dearly loved, and it's Donald Miller, and he was talking about his hero's journey. And I think really, as I sat back and looked at the cards that came out for this week, this is all about tuning back into your own hero's journey. And what that means is basically being the star in your own life and really living out the fullest potential of your purpose. And so as we come to Sunday and it's time to get back in touch with this idea that dreamer come out, and the little girl singularly focused on the butterfly. And I had one of my coaches that said, Lisa, you need to connect with what you knew you wanted to be when you grew up. And I said, I have never in my life, in like one day, can I remember that I really truly had a sense of, I'm going to do this when I grow up. And she says, yes, you did. You need to go back and you need to meditate on it and get it pulled up. Well, sure enough, as I journeyed back, I was able to connect with a memory where I was telling my mother that I was going to heal people like Jesus. And that's what my purpose was. And she, of course, was like, what am I going to do with that? So I totally disconnected with that knowingness after that. So I suggest that you do something similar. Try meditating. Ask for your spirit guides and angels to come and direct you if you really don't know what it is. So you really do have the potential to go after this thing. It's just going to be really important to talk to people to have an intelligent plan put in place. So the Emperor is all about having a calculated pathway to take and using a balanced state of mind and not just pure emotion mind. I want it, so I'm going to go do this without having a solid plan as to how to get there. Because if it isn't sustainable, then you won't. So that is going to be something really important. Monday has us really looking at the hows. So when you ask the universe to help you with things, it's going to be really important to kind of step back and take a broader picture of what is possible and how this could possibly go, because the universe is pretty notoriously like, hold my root beer and watch this when it comes to how things unfold for us. So it's going to be really important. So I was really drawn to the buttons are just so prim and proper and everything is very straight. And when I looked at the green hills, it reminded me when I was a kid, I was never really loving the artistic stuff. So I always drew my ground the same way, and I would draw my people on top, but the ground was always the same. So I had this sense that whatever you are looking at as a way to get to the end goal for your hero's journey, it's far too rigid. So it's important to take a step back, and instead of it is or it isn't possible, how does this become possible? Where's my journey and where are my next steps? And sometimes that's the best prayer to pray when it comes to your hero's journey is, Spirit, show me the very next step, because sometimes they aren't going to be forthcoming with, oh, here's your whole journey and X marks the spot. The next card is Spirit on Tuesday is really going to be helping us kind of with that warm hug energy. Remember all of the good things that we have done. So it's really easy to not enjoy any of our successes, not give ourselves credit for any of the things that we have accomplished. But if you've made it this far, then you have made it this far. And Spirit is saying kudos, clap on the back, high five. You have done a lot of goodness, and that's going to be Tuesday. The important thing is the energy is going to be really easy to shift. It's going to be easier to hold this type of energy, chasing your little butterfly and really be in harmony with your purpose. And how would I make it happen? What classes do I take? What classes do I teach? Those kinds of things. But Wednesday's going to get a little tricky. Don't give in to the temptation of looking at all of the times things have failed. So when I looked at this card, the structure of the table was so bright to me, like literally this structure of the table and how it is constructed. And it really brought me to mind of our subconscious is usually the place where all of our self-talk comes from. And before the age of 8, we have no filter on what gets in there. So if mom and dad come home, they've had a bad day at work, and they're like, get your blankety blank toys up, and all of those kinds of things, then it goes really deep, and we begin to talk to ourselves in the same way that we were spoken to. So if you start to struggle with some of this doubt and whatnot, because in all the prior cards, the angels are really bright, and the angel is kind of faded in the background. So it's going to be really easy to feel like you're alone, fall back into some of those old thoughts. If you don't ask for additional help on Wednesday, this is going to be really helpful because, again, she's focused on the mistakes of the past and doesn't see what's possible. There's literally a whole thing of milk and 2 brand new cups on the table, but she's so focused on what has happened in the past, she can't enjoy what has been set out before her. And this goes hand in hand with on Thursday feeling like our gifts are all put up on a shelf and it just isn't time. It just isn't time. So it's going to be important to really look and see what kind of promptings have you gotten in the past on Thursday. It's a great time to say, okay, how can I actually take action on this instead of, because we get afraid. It is not easy to say, ooh, my name is and these are my spiritual gifts. How can I help you? That's very challenging, whatever your giftings are. So it's important to ask for Spirit to have the courage to take the actions necessary to fulfill your life purpose. Don't allow your gifts to stay on the shelf on Thursday. Friday and Saturday is going to be more of the same, where it's going to be really important. Don't let your mind go. It's going to be really tempted to go back to the old hurts. Do not. Spirit has delivered you from them. Do not go back to the old shitstorms in your life. It is going to be really easy. I don't know if it's a dream, you wake up and you just, or if it's how the planets are lined up, or if you're in the midst of a life review. Because sometimes when it is the end of the year and we're looking at what we want to do next year, winter time is a natural time to look at what we want to fall away and not choose to repeat again. So sometimes this just comes up when we are in the process of thinking where we want to go. Do not let your mind go back here. It's going to take a lot of energy to get back out of that spot if you allow yourself to do that. Ask your guides and angels to help keep your mind and your thoughts on the highest frequency possible. They are there to help make your thoughts beautiful when you ask. Then on Saturday, this is what really made me think about this whole business as I was looking from one side to the other was that Donald Miller that I was talking about. I really enjoy his business usually information. He's got a podcast and it's a story brand. And I enjoy that as I look to see how I can put my story out to help other people. So his idea just always really stood out to me. But one of the things he talks about is sometimes it's really important to not do things that are in the way and keep you from fulfilling your hero's journey. So I was really struck by how all the icicles are on one side of the tree, and he's standing there with his accomplishments, staying on purpose and not doing things that are not going to push his own purpose forward or move the needle ahead on the goals that he does have. So Saturday seems like we're going to be really looking at, so you've got the idea to do this, 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 and this. What's most important, prioritizing that and saying, well, I would like to do this. It's in the way of this. And one of the things he talks about is he always wanted to write fiction, but he feels so on purpose to write people about being successful in business. And he knows that if he was to cultivate the skill of writing fiction, that it would take away from his own purpose and he wouldn't have the time to really continue to put the work out that he enjoys, that really he feels passionate about helping people be successful in business. So it's like what might be fun and entertaining to do might really distract you from your purpose. So that is the kind of thing to really be mulling over in your mind. It's like, okay, I've had this idea come up. So does it take me in the direction of my hero's journey, or is it taking me away from that? So that is your reading for the week. And if you have Archangel number 1, then you have Archangel Michael. It's been a while since he's come up. And he is saying, remember who you are. How absolutely appropriate as we think about what our hero's journey is this week. And so he is saying, you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are loved. So whenever I am feeling like a pile of mush on the floor, energetically overrun by, any kind of empathic garbage that I might have picked up, Archangel Michael is the guy. I ask him to use his sword to cut away emotional garbage that is in the way of where I am looking to get, to have a bigger vision of myself, to have the courage and the energy and the power to keep stepping on my life's goals, and to lead me in the direction for a most benevolent outcome. So he is a guy I use a lot. If you had Archangel number 2, then you have Archangel Azrael. And he is the angel that helps people cross over, but he is also a divine counselor. And so if your heart is hurting, and many people this time of year, so I don't think it's any coincidence that he's back again this week, are really revisiting grief and people that have been lost, and I think that's pretty natural this time of year. So Archangel Azrael is here with comfort. I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So if there's something in the way, you're having trouble recognizing what your life's ambition is, ask him to put on his guidance counselor hat and help you to understand and feel secure in that goal. If you had Archangel number 3, guess who's back again? I really do shuffle these cards. Archangel Raguel. Notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings. They signify divine guidance. So again, he is that angel of harmony. He helps us to all work in harmony. You can ask him in this case to help you work in harmony with your divine guidance and the messages that you repeatedly receive. So this is going to really help you to understand all of the divine intuition you have received about how to follow your hero's journey. So that is your reading for the week. I hope it helps you. I hope you have a really great week. And if you are looking for your own personal reading, how to reach out to me, you can on Facebook, or the information to connect with me is in the About in the YouTube description. All right, take good care. Have a good week.